还有还有看到我们的联合陕西吉祥，嗯，抽卷助教阿弥陀佛，国龙简溪吉祥，还有莲花纯属陕西，早上好，晚上吉祥，因为你们是晚上了哈，晚上好，国华西松吉祥。大家好啊，大家都陆陆续续进来了哈，非常高兴。嗯，在上一节课中呢，我就在老师为我们讲解了那个传统习俗中的烧金钱、莲花和汽车的环节是否能收到。那请大家回顾上一节课写到的内容，分享你们最深刻的领悟。报道留
Customs or tomb sweeping, such as burning chores paper, lost lotus flower, cars, and more, and whether the deceased can receive them. So we would like to invite everyone to share your post-lesson thoughts using the chat box. Excuse me.
怎么样？大家有没有把上个星期的学习的内容
How is it? Has
在一起分
everyone
享、一起学习呢？
actually shared some of
有没有
your
正在收
post-lesson
听？
thoughts and also insights with everyone using the chat box? It's good to actually do some form of revision so that we can recap on some of the concepts that were being taught in the previous lesson.
上个星期我们学到的那个莲花烧金钱、烧莲花、烧屋子、烧
In
汽
the
车，
previous
这个
lesson,
环节
we
是否能
actually
收到呢？
we actually learned
我
about
们的武器在老
whether
师
the
将会
deceased
一
can
一给大
receive
家忘
some of
不
the
了收
items that
到，
were being burned,
一
such
切
as
都能
joss
重
power,
新
joss
的进
paper,
行。
lotus
谢谢
flower,
大家一
cars,
直
and
以
even
来
more.
的，不管做什么事，我们都要心诚去做，就会想的一切都能收到。
And how the
就是你
import
们
the
要用
key
心去做，
point
用心
about
诚心的去做，一切都会非常的美好。
the key in going about these traditional customs is whether
那么
we
我还要跟大
have
家说一
done
下，
it using an
我们
earnest heart.
的课程结
So
束后
as
呢，
long
还
as
将
we
有
do
那
it
个
sincerely
亲
and in a
戚
more
的
genuine manner,
环节，请大家有任何
the
问题
deceased will be
都
able
可
to
以向
receive
我们
the
来。
items that were being
课
burned
后，
for them.
我记在老师将会一一给大家
And if you have any questions along the way, feel free to actually share with them using the chat box. And at the end of the lesson, there will be the usual FAQ component, and we will invite the teacher, Wu Zizai, to actually share the answers with us.
是的啊，大家的问题呢，今天的提问问题呢，一定要跟今天的课程有关
And
啊。
yes, a gentle reminder for all questions that are being
把题目
posed,
发出来，
do make sure
如果
that
你
they
离答
are
题太远
related
了，
to the content of the
离得
lesson.
太远了呢，请大家就留着以后再发啊。谢
So
谢大
if you have
家。
certain questions that
好，
deviate too much
上
from the
次呢，
content, we would like to
发了
invite
题
you
的
guys to
人
hold it back. You
要
can ask
了
in the
解我们
future.
今天的课程。
And we are about to reach the commencement of today's
好，
class,
首
which
先
will
让
start
我
at
们
8
合掌
p.m.
顶礼，
Now
向
let's
我们
put
的
our
老
palms
师
together
敬礼。
and pay homage to our root lineage guru, living Buddha
下
Lin
面
Sheng,
呢，
lineage gurus of the
接下来
true
两位
Buddha
上
school.
师放光加
We'd
持，
like to
愿
uh,
今天的会议
ask for
成
blessings
就
from living Buddha Lin Sheng
圆满，请大
and
家
hope that
结莲花
today's
指引，
lesson will go on
祝
smoothly.
大
We would
家
like to invite everyone to form the
生
Padma
日快
Kumara
乐，
mudra,
短奏轻奏，
recite the Padma
吉
Kumara
祥
heart
如意，
mantra 7 times.
咕噜连声
Om Guru
细
Lien
地
Sheng
红，
Siddhi Hom.
咕噜
Om
连
Guru
声
Lien
细
Sheng
地红，
Siddhi Hom.
咕噜
Om
连
Guru
声
Lien
细
Sheng
地红，
Siddhi Hom.
咕噜
Om
连
Guru
声
Lien
细
Sheng
地红，
Siddhi Hom.
咕噜
Om
连
Guru
声
Lien
细
Sheng
地红。
Siddhi Hom.
嗡咕噜
Om
连
Guru
声
Lien
细
Sheng
地红，
Siddhi Hom.
嗡咕噜
Om
连
Guru
声
Lien
细
Sheng
地
Siddhi
红。
Hom.
阿弥陀佛。
Amitabha.
现在让我们用热烈的掌声欢迎
Now
授课
let's
老师、武自
put our
在老
hands
师、
together to
我们的
welcome
会长陈主
a
任师、
lecturer,
教育处
our
处长
teacher,
联合
Wu
善师、
Zizai. We'd like
文
to
监处处
welcome
长
our Honorable
叶善
Chairman,
师、
Master Chen Zhu,
文化处处长
Education
叶善
Director,
师，
Master Lien
课
Ha,
程线上的善师、
PR
助善
Director,
师、
Master Lien
法师
Jiang. We have
们，
Master
一
Lien
起
Fei.
顶礼
We have
赞
all
美，
Master, Senior
点上莲
Reverends,
花指
Reverends,
引。
and other Dharma propagators and
在
fellow
上
Padma
之前，
Kumaras from all around the
武
world.
自在老
Good
师
day to
为我们
everyone,
讲了传统
Amitabha.
习俗中的烧金
So in the
钱、
previous
莲
lessons,
花和汽车
our
的
teacher has
信
actually talked
礼，
about the traditional
大
customs
家
of
是否能受到
home
这些影
sweeping
响？
and whether the
我
deceased
希
can
望
receive
这
the
些
items that were
和
being
佛法
burned to them,
都源于我们的心念，就是唯心所
and
向
how
和唯心所变，心
and
静
how we
则
talk about
灵。
the power of the mind
今天的课程将涵盖
and
灵
how
修和
everything
静
is
心的
created by
基
the
础，
mind alone.
患者亲属如何
And
辅
today
助家
we will
庭成
talk
长，
about
莲生活佛对其又有什么的教导呢？
we'll
非
talk
常
about the
期待
seventh day and also
谢
the
谢老
7 week
师为
morning
我们进
rituals.
行精彩的演绎。接下
So
来，
we are
让我
very
们用热烈
excited
的掌
on
声
what
宾待
the
明
teacher
天
will
的
be able to share with us
696，
today.
欢迎武自在老师为我们授课。有
And
请
we'd like to
武自
invite
在
everyone
老
to
师。
key in 666 in the chat box as we welcome the teacher to deliver the
同学
class
们，
today.
请大家恭敬合掌，
Firstly, let's put our palms together
顶礼根本传承
and
上
pay
人，
homage to our root lineage
佛
guru, living Buddha
皈
Lien
依
Sheng.
佛法僧三宝，顶
Pay
礼
homage
三
to
乘诸佛菩萨，真佛中
all
法
Buddhas,
华
Bodhisattvas,
法
Mahasattvas,
会
Dharma
法
protectors of
身。
the shrine.
今天晚上网络直播生命礼仪课程顺利，
And we'd like
人
to
人
pray
道
that
得益，真佛中
everyone
法
will be able to
自在
benefit
世
from
界
the
同仁，
class today, and
我
Dharma
们
will
的真佛
be
中
Buddha
各
Dharma
法
will be
会
propagated to
莲
all around the
花
world.
上师，
Honorable
教
Chairman
科
Master
处
Chen
联
Zhu,
合上师，文宣处
Education
音乐上
Director
师，
Master Lin Ha,
公关处
Publicity
林子佳
Director
上师，
Master Lin Yue, PR
现场
Director Master Lin
还
Jia,
有网络上真佛中法相
Master Lin
法讲
Fei.
师，
We have all
祝福
Masters, Senior Reverends, Reverends,
以及
Dharma
来自
Instructors, and
全
Dharma
世界
Assistants,
的莲花童子
and from
兄
all
弟
around
姐
the
妹，
world, all Padma
大家
Kumaras, Dharma brothers and
日
sisters.
上
Good day to
谢
all.
谢大家今
I
天
am
晚
Wu
上
Zizai.
来参加真佛中
Grateful
生命礼
to
仪
everyone
网络直播课程，
to actually join
再
today's
次
class
感谢
on
真佛
etiquette
中
of
法相
life.
学
We'd
教
like to
材
take the
编辑小
chance
组
here
以
to
及课
thank
程翻译小组，谢谢你们，
um,
感谢
the
今天
team behind the
主持人，
preparation of the
感
lesson
谢
materials.
助教，
I'd like to thank the
感谢
MC
所
for
有的翻译，
today,
每
DA Sian Fu,
英文翻
and we
译
have
辛
Indonesian
苦养。
interpreter,
那我们今天
DI
的主
Mei
题是第4章
Mei
亡
Li,
者家属须知里面的
and we also have
第
English
4节
interpreter, DA
同
Sing
气
Rong. And
节
today we'll
气
be talking about
就是
explaining the 7 day and also the 7 week mourning rituals. But before that, let's look at the recap, some questions from the previous lesson. The first question in Buddha Dharma is often said that the effect of karma and nothing in this world is real. However, what can or do you use to transform everything into reality? I'd like to invite everyone to provide your answers. So you can share your responses using the chat box. If you are watching the live stream on Facebook or YouTube, you can also share your responses in the comments section or even through the WhatsApp group chat. So the answer is option A. So someone has also answered option C, which is not entirely wrong based on the teacher's understanding and interpretation, because it does help as well. Second question, according to Living Buddha Lian Sheng, as long as one understands that everything is created by the mind alone and under the right circumstances, family members and others can burn money, cars, and even houses made from paper for the deceased. Please choose which of the following is incorrect. A is safe, B is does not pollute the environment, C is air pollution or haze.
我们呢，真佛宗不否认可以烧金纸跟纯佛教不太一样，但是我们也要注意到
So in the true Buddha school, we do take note of environmental protection. So there needs to be a balance strike between burning the joss paper versus polluting the environment. So question 3, in Living Buddha Lian Sheng's Dharma talk, everything in this world is created by the mind alone. The joss paper of TBS is also created by the mind alone. As long as there is recognition.
用的钱币第一个政府认同，第二个师尊认同。
With which form of recognition it would then become useful paper currency in the underworld?
每个人都答对了。
So A is recognized by the government, B is grandmaster, C is banks.
只要有师尊的认同，这个冥币
So the correct answer is as long as it's being recognized by grandmaster, the joss paper would then become a useful paper currency in the netto.
有的就同门他们不同两个不同的姐妹然后那一天烧完金子之后，在同一天竟然做梦梦到王者来告诉他们说，这个你今天烧的这个金子对我很有用上一堂课有分，所以我也是做
So
了这个。
if you recall the inside story that was being shared in the previous lesson on how two of the children of the deceased had a dream on the same day when the deceased came to tell them that the joss paper is very useful.
哇，真的要赶快，所以这个很多东西不是我们自己讲有用，而是从外面的。
So a lot of times it's not us who say that this is useful or it's not useful. It's really those who have went through the process and benefited them who tell us the case. And we would like to go into the lesson proper. So now we talk about the origin of the customary 7-day and the 7-week mourning rituals. So the 7-week mourning rituals is a folk funeral custom in East Asia in which the Dharma ritual is held every 7 days after the passing of a person. So with every 7 days as a period, the Dharma ritual is conducted until the seventh period and completed after the seventh day of week 7, which adds up to 49 days in total. So as the name suggests, the seventh day of week 1, which is day 7, refers to the Dharma ritual conducted during the first period, 7 days after the death of the deceased. And then the seventh day of week 7, which is day 49, then refers to the Dharma ritual conducted during the last or seventh period, which is commonly known as the last 7 or full 7.
农民历哦，那就当天晚上的11点之前都算第一天。
So for most of the matters relating to afterlife, they are calculated using the lunar calendar. So anytime before 11 p.m. is counted as the first day, and anything after 11 p.m., which is also called the 子时, is then counted as the second day.
在国历上也许是讲还没过，但是在阴历上已经过了，就是变第二天。哦，那这个部分如果刚好有11点过，然后还没有到12点，这中间我们就要像我们就会特别注意这个时间。哦
Yeah, so we do have to pay attention to the time based on the lunar calendar.
农民历那个大年初一之前啊，都算是那个旧历年的生肖。哦
It's like how our zodiacs also follow the lunar calendar. As long as we haven't passed the first day on the lunar calendar, which is the first day of Chinese New Year, you still belong to the zodiac from the previous year. So yeah, Taoism calls this the customary funeral ritual, the 7-week ritual, while Buddhism calls it the 7-week abstinence or 7-week. So the Taoist rituals for the merits of the deceased, they are so-called more interesting and they are longer in duration than those of Buddhism. While to the untrained eye, actually it looks like a big show. So it's like a big production show, which may appear to be a bit strange, especially since someone has just passed on. So even for our teacher himself, he also wondered why is there like such a skit or production. So to the untrained eye, it really looks like a production show, but actually, for those who know, for insiders and those within the industry, there are certain meanings behind it. And later we'll have a video being shown on screen. It actually shows the release of like a pardoning horse, which is also known as the walking of the pardoning horse. So a Taoist priest actually carries a paper-made pardoning horse, and there's also an officer that looks at the pardoning of different kinds of sins that are being committed. So the whole process, it looks a little bit dramatic, as if there's like a plot within. So the Taoist priest actually holds the horse like a horseman and also holds a scroll. He then brings this scroll, which is like a book of pardon, and he also then reads the book of pardon and ask for forgiveness for the sins that are being committed by the deceased in life, so that the souls of the deceased can be pardoned and go to the Western land of pure bliss.
这个生日设定的时间期，达到到幸福的十分可观天文，今年9月17日是过年。我们算到一明白，
马上到一百道东看酒，
所谓好诶。黄错这是三分的话剧，还是最好头边头子。
And here you can see a horse.
在道教里面是这样，让这么多因此里面有那个。
Made very interesting, and how you see the 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 priests that are being involved, they actually do headstands. Oh, more like handstands.
好，有没有很
All
精彩？
right. Does it look fascinating?
有听到声音吗？有。
Was there an audio? I hope that everyone had
接下来
managed
还有
to
一个
hear the audio of the
这个
video.
叫做外行看热闹，内行看门道。它里面呢其实有仪轨在里面，它不是。
So there's actually a sadhana that is being followed for this particular feature, ritual.
也是叫做我们常讲就是让看热闹的人看，避免说这个。
So for outsiders, it's really like just watching a lively performance. But for insiders,
非常重视。
there are certain
几乎
rituals
他们只要在外面的
and there are certain
都
understandings
知道这个放射嘛，这个仪式
that are
是
part of the
做完
ritual.
要大部分都会做。那接下来还有一个叫打王死城，炮翁西行。打王死城
So next, there is also another folk magic
这个
spell,
在殡葬里
which
面
is called
其实
fighting
会
the
做
city of
其
death
实是
due
一个叫
to
做
tragic
这个叫做一个
circumstances.
意外死亡，车祸啦。
So, according to
自杀啦
folklore, this
他
is
杀
people who
或者
die
是意
in
外的死亡
accidents such as car accidents, suicides, homicides, and other unfortunate accidental deaths who will fall into the city
叫做王死，
of
那么就不会
wasted death or city of death due to tragic circumstances. They will only be released when time is ripe
应该要往生的那个
or
时间
until
才把它
the
出来。
age where they are
为什么呢？
supposed
家属如果
to
有
pass
意
on.
外死亡的，
So
那
if
我们就会跟家属
someone in the
做一
family
个
dies accidentally, the family should do a merit ritual and
一个仪式。
perform
这个
this
方法其实
ritual
应
of
该
fighting
大家
the
都理
city
解，
of
因
death
为
due to tragic circumstances.
王死城这个是地狱游记里面都有写，所以我们小时候像我小时候都知道。
So
只是说
some of us
如果
might be
应该说
familiar or even have heard
请法
of
师
this
来
kind
然
of
后要
folklore
到这个
before.
这个请出来呢，有3件，头人要戴那个毗卢帽，那个
So the family will actually invite the priest to use 3 treasures that are being passed down by the Taoist masters or the priests.
刚刚那个还算简单，
Like there's a kulu head,
手持6环金锡杖，这个其实就是代表地藏王菩萨吧。然后下
there's also like a 6-ringed golden scepter.
求东夷大帝是这个地狱道里面这个主管这个最大的叫东夷大帝请他来赦免然后还要招
Then
请
they'll go down to the netherworld and ask for forgiveness from Emperor Dongyue to call on the 5 battalions of soldiers and generals to open the gates of the city
救出来，然后
and rescue the deceased from the city, then send the deceased back to the
主要就是要了解这个。那打王死人主要
yeah, so
包括
then send them back after the dead souls are being transcended
施药和送亡
or they're being delivered.
这个部分等一下我们就接下来我们等一下看的视频比较短，但是主要就是
So the main rituals include invoking the gods, bringing the souls,
再讲一遍
opening the way, going out of the city, howling for the dead, overcoming the dead, and so on.
然后还有未婚死亡的女子，就是还没有嫁的
So generally speaking, the souls that need to be delivered by the rituals, by this particular ritual, they include like unmarried men who have died without any heirs, unmarried women who have died without getting married, those who have no one, no descendants to worship, to pay respects to them, those who have miscarried or have had a miscarriage, those who have died in difficult pregnancies.
一般我们就会说要做
So essentially a lot of accidental deaths or difficult deaths, homicidal deaths, and so on. So here's a video again to show this particular ritual.
刚刚那个有看到吗？那个打王死好了，OK，好，那看了这2个短片呢，我们大概就了
So
解，
after viewing these two
在
video
道教的
clips,
习俗里面呢，
we are
事
able
实
to
上是
understand that in
相对于
Taoism,
佛教，它是更重视，而且
compared to
越重视
Buddhism,
这一些超度仪式的，这不是佛教专有，也就是
they
说，
really
如
focus
果
on
有一个
such
法师
rituals.
做期需要做这个法事呢，这件事情呢是就是只要是
So
汉
the
族
fact
的
that
人，其实都
that
在我们
needs to
的
be a
习俗
Dharma
里面都
ritual,
有的。
as long as
可是
like
我
a
们要
Han
看到底
Chinese,
它
is
习俗
something that is
因为
within
我们
us.
现在
But
讲了习俗
let's
是
look
习
at
俗，但
the
是这里头是要
origin
有经典
of this
证据的，
customary 7-week
这个东西是没有
mourning
经典证据没错，但
rituals
是
in
做
Taoism.
期做期这件事情可是有经典证据的。
So this
也就是说
actually has
就是说我们
some
中
form
国
of
佛教
classic
团体
literature
自古以
that
来
backs
就
up
有的这个重要的仪式，把它放在
this ritual.
因为有现在我们来讲，就是殡葬有时候越做越简单嘛，这个也不要，那个也不要但是有些东西不属于，算是属于现代人必须要因应的，我们可以因应，但是有些东西我们不能随便把它改
So
掉。
there are certain things due to modernization, they are
就
being
属于有经典证据的
omitted,
再乱改
but there are
就不能
certain
说
things
好，我们来讲一下道教的
that
经典
are
上
really
面
backed by certain literature and cannot
如
be
果要考
changed that
据中国
easily.
做期的习俗呢，普遍相信是开始于
So the
南北
origin of the Chinese custom
南北
of
朝之后
7-week
至
mourning rituals
隋
is
朝的
generally
时期
believed to have
很早
begun at the end of the
那
northern and
当时
southern
候道教
dynasties
的太
and
上
during the
老君
Sui and
灵宝业
Han
本典经
dynasties.
第8卷
So
受
according to
赠
the
于
two
29
paragraphs from the
片段
Taoist
记
Tai
这应
Shang
该是
Ki
最早的
Xuan
我
Ling
们讲义比较早
Treasure
基
Karma
本
and
上
Affinity
最原始的嘛那
Sutra
这里面的
is the
经典里
volume
面讲
8.
若天命将终
So
天
this
算
actually
这
says
个
that
是在
if
我们
one's
的
heavenly life is about to
原来
end,
福寿本来应该要活到几岁将近不可救
or if one's
没
heavenly
办法
figure is about to
再
be
救
exhausted
活了
and
死
it
后
can't
安
be
息
saved,
就是准备往生了临
it's
终之
time
时
to abandon
过
one's
期发
body,
愿
and
上
then at the
天
point of
来道教
one's
经典
death,
讲这个
one should make a vow
生
of
死衣服
repentance,
卧具所有资财
give
这个
alms
是
of
地藏经
clothes,
讲的差不多
property in the
受戒
room,
忏悔
bedroom,
罪
all
悔
the
你
wealth
看
that
他是
they
在临
have,
终之时
and accept
做
the
这件
precepts and
做这件
repent.
事情是最得功德不可思议
So they will receive the merit eventually, which is beyond imagination. So
即
similar
从
to
初啊
Buddhism,
从刚刚
Taoist
说的
sutras,
至
Taoist
此
literature also say the same.
造经
That is
造像
from the time of
设
their
斋
death to the
行法
seventh day, by
你如
making
果你忏悔
sutras and
烧香感恩
statues,
放生
devoting
你的
oneself
灵命
to
祭奠贫穷罪孽
vegetarianism,
相继
repenting,
瓦供
burning
克
incense,
得
lighting
福业
lamps, releasing life
接
to
下来
redeem
10
life,
年
relieving the
7 日
poor
之内
day and night,
开度就
enlightening the
看
departed
我要
one
强调
can
7
attain
天内
heavenly
要赶快
rebirth.
做开度就是超度了过
So
世之后
it's
过了
also
7 日之
indicated
后
that it has to be done within 7
每
days,
日
and the
7
opening is
日
most
17日
urgent.
同子领
And
路
after that, every 7 days,
回
the
到
soul of the
家中
deceased will
就
be
是有一个
led
那个
by
童子
Kumara back to
我
their
们
home to
有时候
record their sins and
传统
merits.
的科仪上会看到有童男童女其实代表那个领路王就引魂的啦叫引魂童子会将亡人的魂魄引到
So
家
yeah,
中
the Kumara will actually guide the
按
souls
经
back
对符
to
然
souls
后
of the
7
deceased
日
back
之
to
后
their
天
house,
将
to their
下
homes.
设其魂
And
所
after the
属之者
7th day of
来取
week
其
7,
魄
which is the 49 days that have
七
passed,
七日之后他现在
celestial
讲是7日之后将
generals
君
of
御
five
设其
heavens
殿
will
会
send
成
out the
日之时请
command
到他身
to
旁
actually
使者
retrieve
呢
the
御
soul of
其
the
土地使者
deceased,
就九土使者就是下面
and
上面的然后他来
messengers.
五
The
罪
messengers
将
will
罪
actually
福
collect them
众人来较
accordingly.
量罪福那
So the
这
generals
个
want them to be
地藏
born
经也
in
是讲7 天
heaven,
之
while
内
the
也是在
messengers want them
一
to
化
be
无
sent
罪
to
是
earth.
不是他这里也是讲只是他形容的方法不一样但是原则上都是7期
So
内
you can see that the
头七是
principle
最重
is
要
quite
殿会才
similar
最重要接下
on
来
how
7期
the
是
first
在
7 days is
受
very
到你福
most
报的过程
critical,
所
and
有
then
这个
every 7 days is where
罪
we
福
will
众生
determine
法善恶两
how
次
he how much
这两位
does
10
one
日以上
how
10
much
天下
does
来
one
10
merits hold.
讨教善恶定期罪福
So those with
那接下来
so they will
讲
compare the sins and merits, and the more people with more merits will be reborn in heaven, and those who have committed more sins will be sent to hell. And then the judges of good and bad deeds will then compare the virtuous and bad deeds done by the deceased every 10 days. So this is a summary. It says that within 49 days after one's death, the family members of the deceased are advised to make vows, to undertake precepts and repent, to give alms to the poor, carry out meritorious deeds to accumulate merits for the deceased. This is because every 7 days, there will be a trial that assesses the sins and merits of the deceased. And after 49 days, the judgment on the deceased sins and blessings will be finalized. So those with more merits will be reborn in heaven, and those with more sins will be sent to hell. So when a person just passed on, the first 7 days is really very important. So within 49 days, we should really carry out all forms of deeds that would be beneficial to accumulate merits for the deceased. So this is actually taken from a really early origin. It can't be changed easily. So here are some supplementary insights and short stories to share with everyone. So in true Buddha school, we know that there are various strands, and we have even Grandmaster himself. Yes, there's Taoism, there's Sutrayana and Tantrayana, and GM has actually combined all three. So actually, within True Buddha School, there are also disciples who specialize in Taoist Dharma rituals. Currently, there's one who is already a reverend. Before that, he has also even received like a Dharma title of like a great reverend. So this is actually a title in Taoism, and he has a sought refuge, taken refuge under Grandmaster, and was also given this particular title, Reverend Lotus Zhi, Reverend Lian Zhi.
法师看起来没什么，可是你要知道哈，他说他们其实以前像我们刚刚看的那些仪轨哈，他们其实都是
So if
做
we look at the sadhanas that we saw just now, it's yeah, they shared how it's a very tiring job, and how they actually followed through the sadhana through the night.
有一个师姐她的妈
So
妈
there was once a Dharma sister, her mom actually hanged herself.
对一般人，像我们一般都知道，在家里面上吊。
So as we know that, so it's not a good thing to for someone to hang him or herself. It will cause the whole house to be in a state of unrest. So the family actually wanted to clean up the house and rent it out. So so Dharma brother Wu Zizai was actually consulted.
比较特别的像意外死亡，我印象中好像没有师父没有讲说意外死亡他怎么做啊？什么叫意外？就是他
So based on his impression, he doesn't recall much was being shared by Grandmaster on accidental deaths.
然后从这个脖子把它竖起来，他往生的时候，那个舌头伸到这个下巴这里
So for the deceased, because she was tongue deaf for quite some time, so her tongue was actually, the tongue was extended all the way to the torso area, to the chest area.
因为道教对这个部分他们其实有专门的仪轨就我们
So in Taoism, there is their own sadhana on how they actually perform this Dharma ritual. So there are yeah, for people who have actually hung themselves, there are certain sadhanas that specialize in such cases for such cases. So what they wanted to do was to perform Dharma rituals to actually retreat the spirits and also purify the house.
所以刚刚我们在强调很多事情要郑重其事，不能够说大家不知道，然后我们就爱干嘛干嘛哦。
Yeah, so such cases should not be taken lightly. If not handled properly, will affect the family members and also descendants.
他喇嘛装其实穿在这个道袍里面，大家看这个画面哈，它里面是穿喇嘛装的哦，但是呢，它
So
外
you
面
can see underneath the Taoist robes, this reverend is actually wearing his Dharma robes.
他这个是脚踏步钢吹法螺哦，然后呢要记起五雷号令哦，好看好这个这么帅的五雷号令哦，这个第一次看过哦，那个不是随便刻的哦，那个要有法子才可以拿的哦。哦，那众神
Yeah, so
听
you
令。
can see the images here on how the reverend actually recited the mantras and called for the order of the five thunders. So for our teacher, it was the first time that he witnessed such a Dharma ritual. And yeah, seeing a ritual that's related to suicide.
大家看那个画面，它有一个右边这个画面，左边是他记五雷号令，右边是你看
So
他
the left side is how he actually caught on.
由下往上喷了大概2公大概2公
He actually caught on the five thunders order.
你没有办法把那个水喷得那么远哦，他们
And on the picture on the right and how he
大家不要小看道教哦，这个要当大教的大法师恐怕不会比这么多的法师简单哦，真的没有三两山不敢上梁山哦。那也是所谓的外行看热闹，内行看门道哈。我们一直认为哇，这个到底
yes,
在
you
干？
can see on the picture on the right and how the water is being like dispensed out of his mouth and is to that extent. So it's a really big deal to be able to perform such a Dharma ritual.
你就是看得出来哦，这个就是外行看门道，内行看门道，外行看热闹哦。好，那这个法事做完
Yeah,
之
so
后，
to outsiders, it might really be seen as like a huge production show. But then for the insiders, we know that there are certain sadhanas that are being followed through.
当然也是心里很不开心嘛。但是你看这个佛事一做完，然后又接着3个圣杯，他后来告诉我说：“哦，真的很感谢你做这一场，让我完全心都放下了。” 他忐忑。
Yeah, the family actually was especially thankful for the great favor that was being done for them.
目的是让生者能够安心，他不安的心放下所以这个也是名扬两利
So one important point here on how the Dharma sister's uneasy heart was being put down and put at ease is a really good beneficial. So it's a dual benefit. So in a way, this Dharma ritual has dually benefited both the living world and also the nether world. Next, we move on to the origin of the customary 7-week mourning rituals in Buddhism. So in this history of the North, the biography of the Wu Guozheng. So despite his old age, Guozheng was devout in Buddhism, and upon his demise, an imperial decree is ordered from the day of his passing until the completion of the 7th week thereafter. And meals were being provided for 1,000 monks. So the meaning of the text is that although Hu Guozhen is old, he respects and has faith in the Buddha Dharma. And after his passing, the Ming Emperor ordered to feed thousands of monks with vegetarian meals every day until the seventh day, so as to accumulate merits for Hu Guozhen through giving alms to the monks. And in this particular book of the Northern Tea, the biography of Sun Ling Hui. Sun Ling Hui. So, since the death of King Nanyang, every 7 days and the end of the 100th day, Ling Hui will actually prepare vegetarian meals for the monks on behalf of the king who have passed on. So the text shows that after the passing of the king, Sun Ling Hui, who was a major general at that time, he prepared vegetarian meals for the monks and recited Buddhist sutras for the king every 7 days until the end of the 100th day.
其实做佛事啊，不管做法事，道教的做法，其实很早就。那你要知道，这个是流传到国王就开始在做了。哦，那当然流传到民间。
When we look at the origin, since the emperor has also done such Dharma rituals, let alone the commoners. So more insight sharing.
这个现在当然啦，现在讲的是他以前，因为我这个因缘叫他做道教法事，我才看得到，不然的话，他一般平常他穿着喇嘛装，我也不知道他他有这个一番功夫嘛那其实，在真佛宗的同门里面也有很多。
In true Buddha school, yeah, there are many such disciples. So for this particular disciple, he is from Tainan, Taiwan. So he actually introduced himself as like the unity of Buddhism and Taoism of inheritance, and he also showed teacher Wu Zizai their sadhanas. So their sadhanas are all hand copied. Yeah, it's very strict. So this Longhua school is actually one of the Chinese folk religions, and they also is also known as Longhua sect, Laoguan sect. So during the Japanese rule in Taiwan in the early days, so for the convenience of management, the Japanese government actually included Longhua sect and other sect in the management of the sect. Then they consolidate, and after that, the Taiwanese scholars also called it as the sect of Longhua. So this Longhua sect followers, they abide by the threefold refuge and 5 precepts. But actually they can be married, and actually originated in the Ming dynasty and also then mixed with Zen Buddhism, Confucianism and Taoism and other beliefs. So this school is really very rich in talent and the teachings of so we need to say it's important to recognize that for true Buddha school, the teachings are the teachings on how we actually combine Taoism, Sutrana, and Tantrana. They're all fused into one. It then makes it easy for many people to join PBS and take refuge. So it's really converting them, and they don't give up what they had already learned because of the fusion. So it's able to help more sentient beings, and this is really good. So according to folklore, a person's bad or good or bad karma will determine where they will be born after their death. So family members and relatives in the mortal world will follow the rituals of the Taoist 7-week ritual or the Buddhist 7-week abstinence. to take care of the aftermath of the deceased. And every 7 days, the Dharma rituals are organized and merits are cremated in hope that this will increase the blessings of the deceased in their afterlife and that they will reborn in a better realm thereafter.
传统与非传就是有些是可以变的，有些是不能变的。那他说啊，那我做完了，我如果自己想念经回向，可不可以？当然可以呀、对不
So
对？
for those who ask, like, okay, maybe after the ritual, can we actually recite sutras and dedicate the merits to the deceased? Or you can recite the sutras in front of your altar or even at the temple and dedicate the merits to the deceased. It all can be done. Next is on the literature and Buddhism. So as far as Buddhism is concerned, except for those who have committed the most heinous crimes, they will immediately fall into hell. Or those who have done great meritorious or good deeds, they will be reincarnated in the heavenly realm. So the bardo or the soul can't be reincarnated immediately. If one does not have the affinity to go to their next life immediately, one must undergo several births and deaths. So one period is counted as every 7 days and it will go up to 7 times consecutively. So in a total of 49 days. So which one will then be reincarnated according to the karmic consequence of the deceased. So next is the 6 rounds of samsara. So this is actually the 6 destinations that all sentient beings will head to at the end of their lives. So heavenly realm is really for those who have accumulated great good karma and minimal evil karma in their lives. Then the mortal realm is really for those who have accumulated minimal good and bad karma. The asura realm is for those who are akin to those who are reborn in the heavenly realm, but it's either the lack of cultivation or the cultivation have deviated too much. They are often angry and aggressive, and hence are reborn as asuras who enjoy the blessings of the heavenly life, but then fall to hell once the karma or the blessings have been depleted. Then is the animal realm for those who have committed serious bad karma in their lives due to various foolish acts. Then for hungry ghost realm is for those who have committed serious bad karma due to extensive greed. And hell realm is really for those who have committed serious bad karma in their lives due to overwhelming hatred. Next, some insight sharing for everyone. So when we talk about the 6 realms of existence of samsara, so for teacher Wu Zizai, for him, he has seen many deaths happen before, and from the experience that he's able to tell how the deceased have actually moved on from there. So some of us might know that for the deceased, it's not often the case that the eyes of the deceased would be closed or can be closed.
那有时候这时候家属会要求我们礼仪人员就是要把亡者的眼睛跟嘴巴闭不起来啊，闭起来。那怎么做哦？就有时候
So some of at times the deceased family will request to assist in closing the eyes and the mouth of the deceased. So what happens?
肌肉比较松弛，有另外一种方法，就是
So
用
in this case, how you can use the 2 thumbs. You can do a massage or on top of the eyelids. Then after massaging, you can actually close the eyes from there. So you can follow the action in the video. So after massaging, you pull down. So because of the warm temperature of our hands,
今天就说到这边，敬请点赞加关注，并开启小铃铛，我们下次见。
好那
okay.
刚刚是非常短的短片，就是
So that was a really short video snippet.
如果说他真的眼睛闭不起来，我们可以这样按摩
So if
往上，好像拉皮一样哦，女生都这样。
so it's really like pulling the
不是
skin.
每个都会有，有的真的闭不起来，因为它本身它就打针样。
You can actually massage and then pull down the eyelids to
那么刚刚
close the eyes of the deceased. But of course, it also depends on the condition of the deceased.
怎么样判定往生到什么地方去？
Sometimes we still are unable to do so.
房子头啊、眼睛啊、或者心脏、小腹、膝盖或者脚底脚底。
So to determine where the disease has gone to, you can touch like the
心这里、小腹、
top of the head, the eyes, the heart, the abdomen, the knees, and also the soles of the feet.
看哪一边比较温
So if there's
但是事实上有的地方是热热的
so if there's still warmth in any of these parts, you can then determine where the disease has gone to.
神是从那里走，所以师尊不是我们在开设的时候，师尊不是强调吗？你一定要叫亡者。
So in GM's Dharma talks, you must always tell the deceased to leave via the top of one's head.
也是把他刚刚讲这6个地方把它封起来，让他的灵是强迫他只能够从头顶这边走去。其实他这个就是同样也是判断6道轮回往生哪一道。当然不可能每一个人都又遇到大善知识帮他做这个光晕牵示法。
It's not often the case that we are able to meet a virtuous teacher to be able to advise the deceased and also the deceased family on how to perform the ritual. So when the top of the head is warm, one is born in the Western Pure Land Ultimate Bliss. When the area between the eyebrows is warm, one is born in heaven. The warmth of the heart area leads to human realm. Then if it's the belly, then it will be the path of the hungry ghost. Then if it's the knees, then the knees will be the animal realm.
地狱脚板出，就是地狱道呢，你可以摸它的脚板温热，那到地狱道去
And if one's feet is warm, then the deceased will be born in the hell realm. So you can actually feel the different parts, and you can then determine where the deceased have moved on to. So there's some form of logic to it.
道教认为人死后的第7天呢，道教讲这个会讲的更细了会在十殿阎罗地府的十殿阎罗中的
Taoism actually believes that on the 7th day of a person's death, they will be judged in the first of 10 courts in hell, and then every 7 days they'll be sent to various courts in hell to be judged, known as passing through the Lord's court.
离都还是丰都灭罪经里面有讲，可以看到头七是有
in this particular literature, the Orthodox Taoist collection, the Sutra of the Celestial Venerable of Primordial beginning in on Fengdu's redemption from sins, it can be seen that the 7th day is judged by the Lord Qing Guang of the first court. The second 7th day will be Lord Chu Jiang, and so on. And in the 3rd year after death, the deceased will be judged by Lord Zhuan Lun of the 10th court and then reincarnated into the 6 realms of samsara based on the merits of their cultivation. And in the sutras, the deities also teach that family members and relatives in the realm of the living should cultivate extensive merits on behalf of the deceased after their passing so as to elevate or eliminate their karmic sins during the trial. The sutras also imply and remind all sentient beings that they should do good deeds and accumulate merits during their lifetime so they won't be tortured during the trial in hell and fall into the 24 hells of karmic retribution. So according to Buddhist and Taoist classics, the 49 days after one passes away is the transitional period before reincarnation. So relatives and friends can still make up for the deceased merits by seizing this time to recite the Buddha's name, perform virtuous deeds, give alms, print sutras, mold a statue of a Buddha to actually establish the affinity with sentient beings. Then the deceased would then be able to receive a portion of the merits.
依照经典上的说法，往生者初期常处于如梦似幻的状态，意念也是昏昏沉沉，就好像我们做梦一
The
样。
number 7 itself is quite an auspicious number, also has a subtle reasoning. So the number 7 number 7 itself has profound meaning. According to the classics, in the early stage, the deceased is often in a dreamlike state and their thoughts are also very drowsy. So this is the realm of the bardo where the deceased is often at loss or unaware of their own death or unwilling to accept the reality of their own death.
师尊在度过生死大海的文集，这个文集其实上次有人问过说，
So in Grandmaster's book, Crossing the Ocean of Life and Death, on this particular article, so this particular book, there is an English translation. So for those who find it more challenging to read the Chinese one, can find the English version. So this particular article on the courts of judgment on the debate of karmic retribution, Living Buddha Lin Shen actually quoted from the Sutra of the Fundamental Vows of the Siddhi Karma Bodhisattva. So during the first 49 days after death, the deceased resides in a state of deafness or delusion. And during this time, he is judged in various courts where his karmic retribution is discussed. He will not be reborn according to his karma until his judgment has been rendered. So this actually shows that the judgment of the nether world is really real. So family, friends and relatives should really seize the 49 days period to offer vegetarian meals to sanghas and make offerings to the Buddha, recite the Buddha's name and chant mantras, perform bardo, deliverance services for the deceased. So these will all really help to accumulate blessings and eliminate karmic retribution. So this is also the time where the judge of good deeds, it will appear to calculate the deceased virtuous deeds using white pebbles. And then on the other hand, the judge of bad deeds will appear to calculate the deceased evil deeds with black pebbles. So it really shows the importance of these 7 weeks for the deceased. Some people say that, oh, because you'll be reincarnated to the Western land of ultimate, the pure ultimate pure bliss. Yeah, but even then there are there are many levels at that realm, so one should still continue to cultivate. So in Grandmaster's explanation of the Sutra of the Fundamental Vows of the Siddhikava Bodhisattva, so Grandmaster also mentioned that sometimes a person has a good karma, but with good affinity arising, he's able to receive help from a good and virtuous guru who helps to perform bardo deliverance.
So in
Tantrana Buddhism, this is really called the transference of the consciousness at the time of death. So while you might not have been cultivating in your own time or accumulated any merits, but because of certain good karma and affinity, you meet a good and a virtuous guru who will perform the bardo deliverance for you. And Living Buddha Lian Sheng also mentioned that this liberation of the dying is called the bardo liberation. So next we'll also explain what kind of Dharma ritual is performed at every stage of the life cycle. So the first termination is just after death. This is where the consciousness is preparing for detachment. The golden 8 hours is important and it really has the greatest benefit. So just as when the consciousness is preparing for the detachment from the body, it would benefit the deceased the most. And one should observe these golden 8 hours. Next is when the spiritual consciousness has been detached but has not entered the 6 paths of samsara or 6 realms of samsara. So this is where we need to quickly perform the Dharma rituals within 49 days and allow the deceased to receive the Dharma benefits. So we are talking about the benefits due to the Dharma rituals. And next we look at beyond 49 days, like the 100th day or the first death anniversary. So the deceased have become an ancestor. So at this stage, what kind of Dharma ritual should be performed? So it's what you usually do, like to register to attend Dharma ceremonies or recite sutras and dedicate the merits to them. So this is less beneficial. So some people ask like, oh, we always help our ancestors to register for Dharma ceremonies and so on. How long do we take to benefit them? So Grandmaster actually shared that doing once is not enough. So yeah, it's insufficient because the quantum of the benefits that will go to the ancestors is really quite minimal. So another question that was being posed previously. So if one has already entered the 6 realms of samsara, maybe he or she has already been reincarnated to maybe even another country. So Grandmaster actually advised that if you still pay respects to the ancestors, then maybe that particular ancestor would just have a dream of someone treating him or her to a meal, and that's about it. So our teacher actually wanted to find the extract, but he couldn't find. So during the 49 days, all the court deities debated on the results of their karma. And it's as if the King Yama was weighing the karma of the deceased with a scale. So looking at which is heavier, is it the good or the bad karma? So the deceased at this time can be described as someone who is very eagerly looking forward to this particular skill. So the mentality of the deceased is really like that. Someone who is just very eagerly looking at the skill. So they can be quite anxious about it. Yeah, so so although the sutra says that the merit and the virtue of the living self-benefit 6 points, disease get 1 point, but it's still very important. The reason is that because once they go on to the 6 paths of samsara, the dharma benefits that they get from doing the deeds will be even less. So we would like to give our thanks to our teacher, Wu Zizai, who has actually outlined the explanation of 7th day and the 7-week mourning rituals. So our teacher has actually covered on Grandmaster's book on crossing crossing the ocean of life and death. And how we can actually help to accumulate merits for the deceased. How can we also perform a certain bardo deliverance? So we hope that everyone has learned and benefited greatly from today's lessons. We would like to express our gratitude to our teacher Wu Zizai. And next we have our FAQ segment. So this is from Lotus Minghai Amitabha. Can I ask for offering items that are being sold at the market every year? Every year, all kinds of new design of joss paper are introduced. So many of them, they ignore traditional designs and printings. So are these not usable or like they are like gimmick of sellers? So based on what we have looked at in the past few lessons, is really on the power of the mind and how earnest one person is when they burn the joss paper and other offering items. So if we recall the short story from the previous lesson on how they managed to stick the real wheel back to the car that was actually made of paper. So it actually shows that even if the items they are designed in a more modern way, and even if the items are more modernized, like maybe we burn handphones and so on, the deceased would still be able to receive it. So it all depends on how earnest the person is and how sincere the person is to actually want to burn the offering items to the deceased. And also with the blessings from the Sahana, it will be even better. Another question from Lotus Jing Feng. Good day, teacher. We would like to ask. So in True Buddha School, in the Tantrayana on the 1st or 15th day of lunar calendar, is it a must to burn joss paper for bodhisattvas, rajas, and deities? So if the altar at your own home, if you already have bodhisattvas, your vajas, and also your deities apart from your ancestors, then yes, you also make the same offerings to them. And yes, you also burn the joss paper that belong to that are being produced by True Buddha School. So there are various kinds of joss paper made for different kinds of recipients. So you can look at the intended recipient and select and prepare the joss paper accordingly. And of course, depending on the local context, there could be different practices instead. But to answer the question, yes, you must burn joss paper. Next question from Lin Ting, Amitabha. May I ask teacher? Can the chanting beads commonly used by the deceased, like regardless of the material, whether is it jade or other materials, can it be cremated as well? The answer is can, but not too much because it might pollute the environment. So it also depends on the venue of the incineration or the cremation process. There might be certain guidelines. So as long as the guidelines permit, then we can do so. Because so in a particular case previously, maybe there was like there was a pillow that was being placed in the coffin as well, and it actually created like some form of like a mess after that. So the venue manager actually feedback to the funeral parlor not to place certain items in the coffin.
好的，
这样
清楚，
不知道有没
谢谢。
有回答下一个？
好的，谢谢老师。好，第四道题是依令问的。
Next question.
49天内给往生者念咒，应该给往生者念哪一部经？
Which sutra or mantra should be recited for the deceased within 49 days and how many times? So similarly, if the deceased is a practitioner, so if the deceased is a practitioner and already has a personal deity, then you can follow the sutra or the mantra of the deceased personal deity or principal deity.
对我来说啦，我个人认为你有念就已经很好了，你越多遍越好，没有几遍问题，越多遍越好。
Or maybe like the sutra of the hiking, or how many times there is no correct answer, as many times as possible would be good.
请问老师，为缓解头七习经诵经，按奉灵格塔，带领者如果没跟仪轨走完，仪式诵经，
So this particular question,
是否会触犯？请老师回答。
So the question is, what if there are due to certain circumstances, as part of Dharma ritual, the sadhanas wasn't followed through completely, whether it's an offense. So a key point here for the lead is if there's anything, you should let the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas know first and let them know that maybe the next time you need to perform again, or
对这个佛菩萨的这个心态哦。如果你是
so it all boils down to one's mentality. If you are really doing it just very loosely and casually, then that should not be the case.
有没有冲犯到护法或王者？这个没有一定答案啦，但是
So there's no definite answer to this. So
有什么事情临时要走
So if there's a really urgent case, just explain to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas earnestly,
好的，
truthfully,
下
and
一个
things will
问
be
题，三
okay.
千大千世界问，请
So
问
another
念时
question,
下
if
大雨是否
during the
必须
chanting
是否
process
尊来接引
to actually support the deceased and it actually rains, is it a good sign?
没有什么好坏，因为
Whether Grandmaster has actually come down to receive the deceased. This is
就是
normal.
该做的事做好就好了。那
This is something that is natural.
我觉得不一定要从这个方式来判断哦，但是有时候我们作为礼仪人员呐，哦，有时候会安慰家属。
So we shouldn't see this in such a manner.
看他下大雨，表示世尊护法哦也来加持讲法啦，但是我个人哦不会
So
太强。
sometimes funeral parlors may use such signs
我们在做这个方面也是
to
刚好
comfort the family members, but these are really just sayings.
然后那天其实明明是下大雨，可是一出殡没有下雨，出完殡了进完塔了，哎，怎么又开始下雨？就常常会很多你说
Those are really all kinds of coincidental circumstances, like during the funeral process,
你看他出门就没有雨了。
or then maybe the sun came out and after funeral process it started raining again.
问题
On the next
为什么
question,
8个
so why is
为什么8个黄金小时间如此重要？不是说每个时间都会立即投身到31界吗？请老师回答。
So the question is asking why the golden 8 hours is so important.
佛教、道教都讲哦，就在
Isn't it said that every disease will actually reincarnated to 31界 is like the 31 realm?
刚往生最重要，接下来是7天内哦，然后在49天。
So when we look at the golden 8 hours, there is a substantial literature backing it up.
因为那时候还没有往生，所以这时候做最重要。
And it also explains why the different stages of the 7 days are really important, and it would then determine where the disease will go to
有信没信，反正
next.
以灵界来讲，就是那时候如果你的心
So
念
whether you believe it or
大
not,
善知识他心心念念就是救度众生，就是做好事，所以他立刻能够到那个地方。大恶人也一样，他杀业很重，嗔念很重，他立刻就下去。其实都是同样的心事的道理，各位要了解。
so
不管是大善
so
或者
it
是立刻往生，其实就是这个道理。那我们如果刚往生的
so
时候，
there are really certain logic behind why people for deceased who have accumulated great merits, they immediately go to a better realm like the heavenly realm, and those who have committed heinous crimes, they really go directly to the realm.
很深入的去研究这个心事的问题，你就会知道它是有道理的。哦，那是不是每个
So
人都
there's a certain logic
我不知道
that goes behind.
但是就是说，既然我们信仰这个宗教，而且都讲得那么清楚了，道
There's
教
a certain logic that goes behind the 7 weeks morning rituals itself.
去常常帮人助念，
So we're not exactly sure where this particular saying is from.
下一个问题是
The next question
问对亡者的供养，请问
for
应怎么
offerings,
行善
对
的供
for
养
offerings for the
哪个对
deceased,
亡者更有帮助？谢谢，请
may
老
I
师。
ask in terms of chanting mantras or performing meritorious deeds and accumulating merits, which one is more beneficial to the deceased? So we don't have to really differentiate distinguish which one is more beneficial. As long as it benefits the deceased, we should already then proceed to perform these deeds. So let's not be too mindful about the level of benefit that will be given to the deceased. Yeah, so if today we say that reciting the mantra is most important, is it then mean that we don't need to go about performing the meritorious deeds? That's not the case. So whatever that is good, we should already perform those deeds. So within the golden 8 hours or the 49 days, the 100 days, and within a year. Also, there's nothing done within the golden 8 hours or 49 days, 100 days, or within the first year of death. So any other ways to help the deceased? So as the descendant or children of the deceased, so apart from paying respects to the ancestors, you can also take the chance to register them for certain dharma ceremonies or other repentance ceremonies and many other dharma rituals. We can then make use of those sessions and dedicate the merits to the ancestors or the deceased.
好的，谢谢老师。下一题可能今天的问题可能就没有新的了啊哈。
And that should be the end of the FAQ session. So if there are no further questions, then we will conclude today's lesson. Really grateful for everyone who have joined today's lesson. Give our big thanks to our lecturer, Dharma Brother Wu Zizai. So within the limited time today, we have learned so much about the 7th day and the 7-week mourning rituals. And these are the knowledge that we have gained is really beneficial to everyone. And we'd like to thank everyone for your active participation. And we'd like to invite everyone for the next class as well. And yes, we'll look forward to having everyone there. We will actually cover how to overcome the pain of losing someone. And we'd like to invite our lecturer, Wu Zizai, to say bye to everyone. So the next lesson, we will move on to counseling on the pain of losing someone. So this is a slightly more psychological aspect of the content. So to the living, how do we actually handle psychological related matters? And this talks about counseling people who actually suffer from the pain of losing someone. And we'd like everyone to remember the time, 8 p.m. next Friday. And we'd like to take the chance to thank our Honorable Chairman, Master Cheng Zu, Education Director, Master Lien, Publicity Director, Master Lien Yue, PR Director, Master Lien Jia, Master Lien Fei, all Masters, Senior Reverends, and all Dharma propagators, all Dharma brothers and sisters. We'd like to thank our MC, and our interpreters from both the Indonesian and English channels. And we'd like to thank the team behind the lesson materials. Thank you, everyone.
谢谢所有的台前幕后的莲花童子们。
Thank you, everyone. Thankful to all Padma Kumaras who have made this possible, made the lesson possible. We'll see everyone next week.
主持人先辅助教。
谢
谢老师，
谢谢联合上
很精
师，
彩，真的非常精彩。
谢谢吴
感恩
赛老师，
大家再见，下节课见了。
哎，下一期见，谢谢。
谢谢吴赛老师，谢谢，拜拜。
拜拜。
拜拜，老钟。
哦，老
拜
钟
拜，
拜拜。
谢谢老师、上师、阿弥陀佛，拜拜，
拜拜，
拜拜。
拜拜，拜拜，谢谢，拜拜。